22 points in his NBA debut, 17 of them coming in the fourth quarter. Of course, he's going to play again tonight. Alvin Gentry, though, in that debut, making the move to pull Zion after playing just 18 minutes. Gentry had more to say on his decision to pull Zion, which actually was more a medical decision.
They just thought that, he had played enough minutes, and, they made the decision that that was enough time. So I had guys yelling and cursing at me, who would be dumb enough to keep him out of the game. I'm a little bit smarter than that, okay? If the guys made four threes, I think we would have stayed in. But I think we also understand that you can't sacrifice, one game for long term. Obviously, we would have loved to have had him in the game, but it's just not, even taking a chance in those situations.
So we are going to talk about Zion Williamson, and we're going to do it with that man.
Yeah.
They're clapping before the introduction.
Yes, before.
The one, the only, I'm told the best golfer of all the NBA players.
Oh, no.
Andre Iguodala is in our studio. Now you can clap, everybody. Great to have you here, my man. Thank you for coming by.
Thanks, man. False statement to start the show.
The golf, not so much.
Golf, not so
All right, we're going to talk golf a little bit later. That'll be off the air. On the air, we're going to start with this thing with Zion, because obviously, everyone was excited to see his debut, and there were so many pieces of that to unpack based upon how the way that they're using him and the brilliant spurt he had in that fourth quarter. When you watch Zion, what do you think we're seeing?
I think a lot of people are missing his best attribute, which is rebounding and starting to break. The way he's able to create. We talk about LeBron James, and LeBron James has an unstoppable move in transition, which is that hard dribble, body contact, spin move, unstoppable. Zion has that physicality where he's going to be able to attack in transition. He's going to be able to hit multiple bodies and clear out multiple guys. And I think he complements the best talent on that team. And also their point guard that's coming up, Lonzo Ball, and also in Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
I think Brandon Ingram is the talent of the team. None of those guys get in each other's way. So Zion's only going to make them better, and they're only going to make Zion better. And he's a generational talent, and they're going to be good.
So, I agree with you, because I think when Zion gets the ball, if you're Drew Holiday, if you're Lonzo Ball, you can run to a wing and shoot. After watching him play, is he a point center? Does he remind you of a Draymond Green type of player offensively, I guess, with versatility?
Before he made those 4 threes, I was thinking to myself, he's Charles Barkley without that three-point ability. But more, so we talk about who's LeBron, and you can't compare LeBron to anybody really. I look at Zion being young and having all the hype, as is really no one like him. But the way Charles Barkley used to command so much attention and be able to shoot the ball from the outside, create double teams and kick it, Zion's going to be able to draw a lot of attention and find guys. And if you don't double team him, and if you don't bring the help, because the one thing we do in transition is what? We said we got to crowd the paint, and then we got to load, and then we got to spread out. Well, with the NBA going to three-point oriented, it's going to be tough for guys to try to load the paint and get out. You're going to have to pick your poison, and I think he's going to make teams pay.
Look, the reality of it, though, is that he missed the first 44 games. He comes back, and he's on this very limited pitch count. As you watch him, you see the body type and everything else. There's so much concern about it. What is the biggest concern for you as far as his ability to handle the sort of long grind that is an NBA season and remain healthy to have the kind of career it looks like he's capable of having?
Well, I think he'll be fine. If you look at Blake Griffin, early on in his career, similar in terms of the jumping ability, the leaping ability, a lot of the hype that they had around them. Blake had a couple injuries early on. He had one really early in his career, then he had another one in 2012 with the Olympic team. He wasn't able to go to London with us, but he's still been able to have a very successful career, a Hall of Fame type career. So a lot of the concerns we have is just a lot of talk because it's just chatter. I think the more experience he'll have, the more he'll learn his body, he'll learn the pace of the NBA. I think he'll be fine.
Matt, a lot of people have suggested that Zion needs to lose weight. And he was on the Woj pod, and he said, look, my body just sort of is what it is. What's your reaction to hearing people that say that would maybe help him in some way?
Well, I think everyone has an opinion on what they think is going to help this kid. But, he is who he is. He's a physical specimen, and he's the reason why he's the #1 pick. That weight, that strength, that athleticism has got him the #1 pick. And like Andre said, he's a perfect fit for that team because, as I mentioned yesterday, he's someone that can be a 20-10 guy just off energy and effort. So don't let him start shooting the three-pointer and stretching the defense out, and then being such a willing and good passer that it's hard to load him in transition. He gets that ball off the glass and starts to break. You want to load, but he's such a willing passer, and then once you start creeping out a little bit, that's when he'll take it coast to coast and dunk on your whole team.
Jay Will, you obviously watched his college career so closely. I think all of us were taken aback by the 4 for 4 from 3. Is that a realistic, I don't mean that he's all of a sudden your old teammate Steph Curry, but is that something that he really has in the repertoire? Can he be an effective three-point shooter?
Tell you, I learned how to do things exponentially better when I was forced to sit out. I had to see the game differently. I had time to actually work on those other attributes of my game. I think if that can become a consistent part of his repertoire, like Dre, like that's the next level for him. He starts making that shot, you can forget about how to guard him. Because you can't.
But I also think the fact that he's willing to take it this early.
Yes.
You know, Ben Simmons is reluctant to still take it. The fact that he's taking it and making it is going to make you honor him a little bit more, and it's going to open up the rest of the game.
Okay, we're going to have more on this as we go, but I'm told that we have this ready to go. That I told you it was a crazy night in Australia. It wasn't night there, but it was here. As Coco Gauff won, she beat Naomi Osaka right after PT on.
Let's get back to the NBA, and we've got Matt Barnes and Jay Will here. LeBron James and the Lakers taking on the Nets, led by Kyrie Irving. Bill Clinton, Michael Strahan sitting courtside. You'll see that in a moment. I don't know where Jay Will and Matt Barnes are in the highlight.
Hey, I was right next to him.
Where were you guys?
You see my red shoes right there. I was sitting right next to Bill.
LeBron getting going early, Jay Will.
LeBron with another triple-double. His vision overall, he accounts for 53 points per game between assists and points.
You see him there getting it going to Kuzma in the corner. Lakers up 71-66. Now, right before the end of the half, Lakers leading here, and LeBron goes up for the layup, but Matt, he's fouled by Kyrie.
They were back and forth. I was surprised to see how much Kyrie guarded him last night and seeing, just how big LeBron is. But this game was never in doubt. He controlled the game from start to finish. It was just another amazing game for him.
Kyrie had some words there, and to the third quarter we go. Under a minute left. Nets down 4. Kyrie hitting that pull-up 3, Jay.
Yeah, Kyrie's the guy that has to be the momentum player for this team. And look, I don't care what anybody says. He is one of the most spectacular players to watch. So is
Stop
AD.
it, Anthony Davis.
So is AD.
Goodness. That was pretty fun to watch. Glad to see him back on the court, too. And as we continue on here, under 10 seconds left in the third, Nets are down 7. Kyrie doubled, and then Jared Dudley here with an opportunity. What a shot, Matt.
He's back in Brooklyn. The fans were loving their chanting Dudley last night. He hit a big shot. He's one of those good guys that gets the energy going. LeBron with the tough fadeaway. I mean, that's unfair. I mean, Kyrie doesn't stand a chance out there with him.
I mean, the fact that he's 35 and he's top 2 in the MVP voting race tells you everything you need to know about him.
Is that me back there?
That was you in the background
with the red
somewhere.
shoes.
Okay,
Yeah.
the Lakers win this one, and you just mentioned it, Jay. LeBron is 35 years old. What are your impressions of what he's done so far this season and doing it at this age?
I mean, it's between him and Giannis for MVP right now. And just the fact that he's 35 years old, the fact that out of all the Eastern Conference voters to go to the All-Star game, the starters, I mean, he has more All-Star game starts combined than all the starters in the Eastern Conference. That's how legendary he is. And I don't think he's all the way appreciated. We always compare him to Michael Jordan.
Right.
People always want to rip him down because he went to Miami, then came back to Cleveland, then went to LA. But what he does, what you see this is legendary stuff.
I don't think not only LeBron, but a lot of the great players say we just don't sit back and appreciate their greatness. I think we're in an era where, showing love is not cool. So everyone has a negative thing to say about someone, but just to sit back and appreciate how amazing he is night in, night out. And it almost looks like he's on cruise control out there. So it's going to be a problem come playoff time.
What do you think about that, him being on cruise control? Do you get that same impression by what he's doing?
Or autopilot. He's still playing hard, but it's just so easy.
I would say, he's still operating at a pretty high level in cruise control for LeBron. And they still have the best record in the West. But I do think that we're going to start, these games between LA and Brooklyn are going to be fascinating to watch. Number one, the relationship between Kyrie and LeBron, right? Like, they were friends, then they kind of became weird. Now they're kind of friends again, but there's still that underlying competitiveness. And then when you bring KD back into the equation with LeBron and AD, this battle between East, West, I mean, it's going to bring back like those Tupac Biggie kind of situations, right?
It's going to be
Feels
fun.
like that.
It's going to be fun. The energy in Barclays last night was amazing, and it's only a matter of time. KD will be back next year, but we got to worry about right now. But like you said, Jay, in the future, that's going to be, that's going to be a heated battle.
Yes.
When we discuss the NBA in the next hour, we're going to talk about the All-Star voting and all of that and who might have gotten snubbed. These guys have some takes there. 2 of the association's best teams tip off NBA Friday at 8 Eastern. Kawhi and the Clippers And that would be Zion Williamson. Now, when he did make his debut a couple nights ago, it was a night to remember. He scored 22 points in his NBA debut, 17 of them coming in that. Made the move to pull Zion after playing just 18 minutes. Now, Zion addressed the prevailing question about his size and his weight on the Woj pod. Take a listen to this.
There's really no comparison to me because I try to add every level to my game. My body's just built different. Some people try to look at it as a weakness, but I look at it as a blessing because people aren't used to guarding this kind of size. And I'm able to add a little finesse to my game so it has flavor. And I feel like I'm a playmaker, so I can create from